Warning: the Atari Creep YouTube channel is intended for a mature audience. Regardless of the subject matter, this video may contain strong language, simulated violence, and lots of psychological nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? Guys, as of late, the last couple of Atari VCS update videos, I've asked a genuine question. A question I'm concerned. I'm concerned, but I'm not a backer of the thing. So, I guess I can have my opinion. It's my right as a human being, an American, a fucking First Amendment. I'm on YouTube. I can say whatever I want. But in all honesty, I didn't really back the thing. So regardless of how I feel about it, it doesn't really hold as much weight as someone who did man up and put the $400 or $500 down. Plus, some people got multiple. And I've been asking because I genuinely care and want to know, how are you feeling as it relates to that specific update? You know, how do you feel right now? Are you kind of just meh? Or you're okay with the status quo? Are you fucking furious? Are you wicked excited? Do you still have a raging heart on for this thing? And anything in between. Anything in between. And I get the typical answers. I get a whole bunch of people talking about whether they like it or not. And, you know, the typical snidey comments from the fucking dickheads. And then you have the people fighting back on them. But I haven't gotten a full... What's the word I'm looking? I haven't gotten a really good... Until just now. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. All the comments I've been getting, they've been great aside from your typical dickhead comments. But I got one on my latest video talking about the palette of VCSs that showed up stateside for testers. And I thought this was well enough thought out, very even keel without being safe, and it shows the roller coaster of emotions that I know I would be going through. I would be a little tipped more on the furious side. See, I was lucky enough not to have the money at the time. I got my opinions on the VCS, and whether or not it's worth anything, I didn't put the money down. Hopefully I've said that a couple of times, because I do believe that. I do believe that. So, this is from a cat named JC Hub 72. I'm going to assume that's how it's supposed to be said out loud. Anyway, and as you know, I'm not the greatest at reading out loud, so bear with me, guys, please. It's not my strongest suit. I do know how to read, believe it or not, to the contrary belief. And I'm going to try to stay as verbatim as possible, but there's a lot in here that I can just sum up in a sentence or so. So I'm going to do that. It's a page and a half of response. And if I don't take too much damn time, there's actually a yin to the yang here that I also got on the same video. And I hope to get to that if this isn't dragging on too long. So, he says, I'm a backer, and here are my thoughts. When it first came out, I felt a little nostalgic, but I heard about so many people wanting a new Sega console to the point where they were willing to make their own and have Sega put their name on it. You once mentioned Creep, but these were zombie consoles. That's a great phrase. I can't believe I said something cool like that. I'd like to know what I thought about that. So if you can remember what video I was talking about zombie consoles, I can speculate as to what I was thinking. It's a great adjective. Good job, Creep. But I saw it as old school gamers looking for a comeback kid. And that's great. And that's going to come up quite a bit here. Whether it be Atari, Sega, and television, people were looking for a phoenix to rise from the ashes. The Atari box pitch came, and I was impressed. I grew up with Atari. But I also came aware of Atari's history of the crash and Tengen and how they assembled it from Radio Shack shelf components. He talks about reading this book called Racing the Beam. He recommended getting that book. You know, maybe you can do a Creeps book club or something. No, it's not going to happen, kid. Sorry. So they created something wonderful, but they still had a questionable side. And, you know, there's a lot to be said there. They did make something questionable, but they also made it wonderful. I saw the Atari box listing on Indiegogo. And he says he only used it once before for the Gaming Historian's Blu-ray. But around this time, I saw a lot of YouTubers shouting, scam, scam, scam. And one burning his Atari shirt online. It seemed like they wanted something to fail before it even started. They even compared it to the Coleco Chameleon. which I'm aware of. So I do want to speak upon that. First of all, the burning of the shirt. I'm pretty sure I remember that and who it was, and I think I'm personal friends with him here or on Facebook. And that was a bit extreme, dude, okay? That was a bit extreme. I understand that type of protest, but I'm not gonna lie. It's laughable. I'm gonna burn something because I'm angry. Alright, whatever. I'm not making fun of you. You're a good dude, but Alright, moving on. I'll say this once. I'll just say it once. I don't like trolls. Haters are bullies. I like trolls as long as they're clever and they're not from hate. Never have, never will. They come off as cowards hiding behind their keyboards. And I feel they enjoy the pain they cause a little too much. Okay, maybe a lot. I don't know if that's got to do with anything. Maybe because he thinks a lot of people are trolling us, and they are. They are. But I think there are a lot of people who mindlessly hate on stuff, not necessarily trolling, but they fuck your opinion. They're dickheads. They're dickheads. And it doesn't matter. It's not just the VCS. It's not the Amico. It's just anything. People have this feeling and this need in this world to bring things down more than they do to build things up. I'm not saying that people should like the VCS. I'm not saying people should not like the VCS. What I'm saying is, have an opinion is different than being a dickhead. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, with the exception of those individuals, can agree with me on that one. Being a dickhead is being a dickhead. Having an opinion saying, I don't like this thing because it looks like a Raspberry Pi in a box, or I think this is fantastic because it's going to do all the things I want it to do while looking pretty. Those are opinions. You know what I'm saying. He goes on to say, I felt the VCS deserved a shot. And he's right. He's right. I feel he mirrors how I felt about that. I feel like it deserved a shot. I had no idea if it was going to be good or not, but I felt it deserved a shot. I also was aware of Atari's standing in the world at the time and heard of their other false starts and thought this may have been the only viable option they had at the time. It was a risk, but I felt they deserved a shot. And he keeps saying that over and over again. And if I didn't like what they sent, I could find a trading zone somewhere and just get at least part of my investment back. Now, I know a lot of people, including myself to a degree, is going to have an issue with that. I don't think it's good to settle on something, but that's not what he's doing here. We wanted to back something that deserved a shot. If it turned out not to be anything, he was going to be kind of like, all right, well, I can get some of that money back. Me, on the other hand, I'd have been furious. I would be furious. But that's the great thing of having differences of opinions. If we all thought the same way, life would be boring. There's 31 flavors for a reason, right? He goes on to say, I placed my order and waited, and waited, and waited. And when I was told I still had to wait after the arrival deadline was passed, I waited even more. And that is the key to all this VCS nonsense. It's a fucking waiting game, and we'll stick with this. It was then I heard of the legal troubles with some of the staff. The voices of the haters seemed to get louder as they screamed, scam, scam, scam. And he put that in bold. Get your money back. I was one of those guys. They were reminding me of a scene in an old Snorks cartoon. I'm not going to go into that. If you know the Snorks, you know the cartoon. I'm going to they want their money back. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail about that, but it says it reminded him of a specific cartoon episodic thing. It didn't help my doubts as I wondered if the haters were right. I get behind another foolish cause only to get kicked in the teeth and told I was stupid for trying. And that is the difference, my friends. The difference between an opinion and a dickhead. So when Atari sent out their updates, I was glad they didn't take my money and run. Which, to me, is the definition of a scam. Still, the waiting was getting to me. And the calls of scam from haters looked look ready to kick backers when they were down with their "I told you so" and didn't help. Okay, so we got this far without me fucking fading out while reading. Finally happened. And he's right. These people, they're just kicking back, waiting to really kick you down even further once you're down. I don't get why people are like that. And again, opinions and passion. That shit goes right out the window when I talk about dickheads. And you know what? If you don't agree with that, I'm telling you straight up, you're wrong. There are times when someone's right and when someone's fucking wrong. Okay? Think about that. So as far as I see it, they do have something of a tangible product. I feel better when it arrives. Yeah. I don't know what I'll get. But it'll be something. Oh, it'll be something, all right. How much of something? Can Atari capitalize on this something remains to be seen. It started with me looking to see not a zombie console, but a comeback kid. The odds were 50-50, but I felt it deserved a chance. But while they seem to have a tangible product now, mine still hasn't arrived. But I will let you know, Creep, when mine does, and I'll give you my thoughts. And I think it could be summed up in that last sentence there. That last paragraph. JC Hub 72 speaks a lot of truth in here, you know. The Atari VCS is something that deserved to have a chance. It did deserve to have a chance. Now, for me, personally, the things I've seen, how I feel about it, is still how I feel about it. I encourage you, go through my playlist. You don't have to watch all the videos all the way through. But you see the progression. I was excited. Oh my God, someone named Atari is going to come out with a console. I didn't think it was going to be much anyway. You go into certain movies, okay? You go into certain movies with a certain mind. You go into haunted attractions with a certain mind. Okay? Those dickheads that are 35, 40 years old that come out of Fear Farm and go, scare me one little bit. It's because you're 40 fucking years old, you stupid douchebag. What were you expecting? No, you go into it with the atmosphere and the feeling of the holiday, and oh, cool, they did a great job, and the room looks awesome, and you know, the atmosphere. It's about enjoying the hard work put into it, the production value, and all the nuances of that season. Same with certain movies. People go in to see certain movies and they come out and they're so disappointed. But they're just some of those movies where you just got to go into it knowing what you're getting into. You're not fucking going to come away with Gone with the Wind, okay? And that's how I approached the Atari VCS. And then I saw the goings-on of it, and I saw how much it was and what little was coming out of the whole production. And I'm not going to sit here and call it a scam, because I do believe people are going to get something. There's no doubt in my mind that eventually something will be shipped out to some people. Maybe not everybody. That's honestly how I feel right now. I'm not going to tell you that's the truth. But I feel a handful of people may get something, and then money's going to disappear, and there's going to be a great handful of people who probably won't have anything to show for it. And that's sad. And that's sad, because I do believe what JC Hub here is talking about. I do believe a comeback kid would be great, and maybe that is going to be in television. You know, it's yet to be seen. I am championing the television for my own personal reasons. They seem to be doing the right thing for what they're doing right now. I'm not seeing too many red flags. I know what I'm getting into with the Intellivision Amico, though, and that's the difference here. I know exactly what I'm getting into with it. So when I get it, and if it's exactly what I think it is, I can't be upset. Maybe it'll exceed my expectations. Who knows? Maybe I'll get it and it'll be a cheap piece of shit. I can't tell you because it's not October yet. But regardless, I'm going into it with the right mindset. But I did want it to succeed. I'm not looking at it as an Atari product. Yeah, you can tell me all day they own the name, they're putting the tags on there, they have the licenses, and that's fine. And, you know, sometimes with something like this, after time it becomes... I never considered the prequels really Star Wars movies, and now they're part of the Star Wars nostalgia to me, regardless if I like them or not. So they kind of, over time, filtered their way into, okay, yeah, that's how Star Wars feels now for that specific time period. So I probably was going to look at the Atari VCS in the same light. But regardless of how I feel, I didn't put the money down. What I am doing is I'm coming from someone who absolutely loves the Atari branding from days of yore. Regardless of how individuals feel about me not buying every fucking brand new console day one. I'm a big Atari guy. I love Atari. It's in my fucking name. I play Atari all the time. I have my portable with me at all times to play it. I may not play it all the time here on this channel. We may not talk about it all the time on this channel. But I'm a fan of the branding Atari. But I'm not a fan to the point where I'll follow everything that brand does. So I can only imagine how a lot of people feel right now. And if you're one of those individuals that this $300 or $400 was just extra income, play money, and you're well off to that point, and you're just like, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't, well, good for you. But I do know there's probably a more majority of individuals who probably didn't have that extra $300 or $400, but wanted this thing to succeed because it deserved to, and put the money down, and now they're probably going to lose that money somehow, and that aggravates me. But that's the gamble. And that's going to be the argument. Well, you knew what you were getting into. I worked corrections for 13 years. And we used to tell new recruits all the time, we're not going to negotiate for your fucking safety if you become a hostage. We're not going to tell the inmate that they're going to go free to save your life. You're coming through these walls, and you could not possibly go home tomorrow. But you knew the deal. It sucks, and that's just the reality of life. So that was a really well thought out response. I would encourage you to read it yourself. It's on the palette one. I will try to put the link to that one down below so anyone in the future can reference that one. I did have a response to it, and I apologize to Deathstrike YT for not getting to that. This video is getting pretty lengthy. Maybe if I'm feeling it, we'll get to it. But that comment is also on the same video. So if you want to go read that, it's a great follow-up to it. Maybe not necessarily direct follow-up, but I felt that it was enough relation in the opposite spectrum that I wanted to put the two together. So guys, what are your thoughts, your feelings? Hopefully you got through all this. There's nothing worse than someone that fucking comments and they haven't even watched the whole thing, and I get it. Short attention spans these days. These type of videos, I put the headphones on, I do dishes, and it's playing in the background or whatever. So let me know what you think. Go ahead and leave your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all feedback to the Creep is positive. Guys, I really do hope all you VCS backers get something that's a little more than what you're expecting at this point. I really do. And I wouldn't mind having one myself once it becomes retail and a lot more price friendly. Guys, I hope you're having a great week. I really do appreciate you watching. And until next time, take care. Creep it real. Be cool to each other, for fuck's sake. And bye-bye.